Hey y'all, for the exterior layer of this crossbody purse, these are the materials and measurements you'll need. Once you have all of your pieces cut, center the interfacing on the corresponding fabric and iron it down to adhere it. All of the pieces are stabilized and we'll start constructing the slip pocket. Fold the panel in half with right sides facing and clip to hold in place. I'm using a curved corner ruler to round off the open edges. If you don't have that type of ruler, find something round to trace. Then you'll cut the excess fabric. Sew the perimeter of the pocket. Leave a small opening on one side to turn the fabric. Before turning, use scissors to cut small notches on the curved edges of the pocket. This will help the curve to lay a little flatter once you turn. And if you want to, you can also cut off the corners to reduce bulk. And go ahead and turn your fabric right side out. You may need some kind of tool to help you push out all the seams. I keep a chopstick handy for this reason. Also, when you're turning it, you want to match up and tuck in the seams of the opening that you left so that you can sew it closed. Iron your pocket and top stitch along the folded edge. This will partially close your opening and the rest will be closed as we attach it to the side panel. Fold your side panel in half and cut notches at the top and bottom to mark the middle point. Fold your pocket in half to find its middle point as well. Match up your middle points and position the pocket at least 1 inch above the bottom edge of the side panel. Pin your pocket in place and sew around the perimeter, leaving the top open. Now it's time to assemble the bottom and other side panel. If you're using a directional fabric, be sure that your side panels are laid out the way you want them to be. Center the bottom panel along the edge of one of the side panels. Flip it over so right sides are matching and sew a straight line across. Open up the bottom panel and match it up with the other side panel with right sides facing. Sew a straight line here as well. Once the bottom and sides are connected, I top stitched for added stability. Fold over the full panel and match up your side edges. You're going to clip those in place and sew a straight line across each edge. Now it's time to box the corners by matching up the side seam with the seam of the bottom panel. Clip that into place and you'll sew straight across. Now I can turn my exterior right side out and check to make sure that all the sewing is good, the pocket is positioned where I want it, that I'm happy with everything. The last step for the exterior portion right now is to make and attach strap connectors. I have 2 pieces of the same canvas fabric I used for the bottom panel. They are 3 by 2 inches, and I also have 2 D-rings. I'm folding over the bottom about a 1/4 inch so I can hide the raw edges. Then I'm going to fold the whole piece in half lengthwise. Finger press that to form a crease, and then fold the edges into that middle crease. I iron the folds off camera, and then I cut off the corners of each piece to reduce the bulk. Fold your fabric back in place and clip it to hold. Sew a straight line along each flap to hold that in place. Feed the connector through the D-ring and fold over the top edge. After folding your fabric over the D-ring, check both connectors to make sure they are both the same size. Sew a straight line under the D-ring to hold it in place. On each side seam of your exterior piece, measure and mark 2 inches down from the top. Center the strap connector on the seam line, matching the stitch under the D-ring to the 2-inch mark. Pin the connector in place, and when you get to the sewing machine, sew across that seam line under the D-ring and then also do a box stitch. Alright, all of the components for the exterior are now in place and we can move on to the lining portion. These are the cuts and materials you will need for your lining. I'm starting with the zipper pocket. Take that fabric piece and turn it wrong side up. I'm drawing a rectangle to mark the cutout for the zipper. The top of my rectangle will begin 2 inches down from the top of the fabric. Then I fold my fabric in half to get the middle point. The width of my rectangle is 5 inches, so I'm going to measure 2.5 inches from each side of that center point. The height of my rectangle will be 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to add the zipper panel to the side panel. Fold your side panel in half so you can find that center point. And we already have the center point in our zipper panel, so you'll match those up together. Clip both pieces of fabric together, take it to your sewing machine, and sew all around the rectangle. Now draw a line halfway through your rectangle. At each end, you'll draw a triangle from the corners. These lines are where you will cut to open up the rectangle for your zipper. Fold the fabric in half, matching up the edges to make your initial cut. Then finish cutting along the lines. Be careful not to cut through the stitches. Pull the zipper pocket panel fully through the opening to the other side. Then iron the seams flat. Now I'm pinning the zipper to the opening. You can choose to have the bottom stop of the zipper showing in the rectangle, or you can center the zipper so that the bottom stop is out of the sewing range. I'm going to center my zipper. After you center your zipper lengthwise, make sure you center it widthwise too, so your teeth aren't too close to the top or too close to the bottom. Once you're happy with the positioning, go ahead and start pinning your zipper in place. Before you finish pinning it though, make sure you pull the zipper head into the rectangle so that it's out of sewing range and you have a functional zipper pocket after you finish sewing. Sew another rectangle around the opening to lock the zipper in place. Now you can cut off the excess parts of the zipper. To form the pocket, fold the zipper panel in half, right sides together. Pin it in place. Flip over your fabric and fold the side panel onto itself to move it out of the way. Sew the perimeter of the pocket. Actually, you'll see in this frame here, I didn't even sew all the way to the top. I wanted to reduce some of the bulk, so I sewed maybe like 3/4 of an inch above the opening of the zipper, and I cut off the excess fabric at the top. Now you can unpin your side panel and just double check that everything looks right with your zipper pocket. If you want to have a deeper pocket or a wider pocket, feel free to adjust your measurements, either adding to the length or adding to the width. I'm okay with the size of this pocket. The next part of the lining is another slip pocket on the other side panel. The process is very much the same as we did for the external slip pocket. The only two differences are, one, there's no curve on the edge. I didn't do the curve because it's going to be on the inside and you won't be able to see it. However, if you want to have a curved pocket on the inside, feel free. And also, when placing the pocket on the side panel, I placed it 2 inches from the top. So those are the only two differences. I'm going to let it play out with some music so you can watch along. Now it's time to attach both side panels to the bottom panel. I'm a little bit extra and I matched up the side panels right side to right side first. I want to make sure that I'm positioning them correctly and that both of my pockets will be facing the same direction. So I match up the panel pieces and then I butterfly them open and then lay out my bottom panel to attach. And again, this part of the process is the same that we did with the exterior part of the purse in terms of attaching the bottom and the sides together. Okay, my bad. There is one difference in doing the lining. When you go to sew the sides together, you want to leave an opening so that you'll be able to turn your bag later. I'm marking my opening with a couple of pins so I know where to stop and start back my stitching. And those pins are approximately about 2 inches in from either side. All right, our lining is all sewn together. Here you can see me turning it out just to get a good look at it. And then I flip it back in to see how it looks when it will be sitting in the purse. Now we can move on to our recessed zipper and strap. Here are the materials you'll need for the recessed zipper. I started by cutting tabs out of all 4 pieces of my fabric. In the footage, you'll see that I measured 1.5 inch by 1/2 inch. That is incorrect. After I finished, I saw that that was too much. So the correction is to cut out 1 inch by 1/2 inch and cut that out of all 4 pieces only on one side. It's time for the zipper sandwich. The right side of the zipper should be facing the right side of your main fabric, and we're working on the side with the tab cutouts. And then flip over your lining so that the right side of the lining is facing the right side of your main fabric. Pin this in place and sew a straight line using your zipper foot. Okay, I didn't show it properly on camera, but you'll want to open this up and flip your lining to the same side as your main fabric and top stitch. I clip the finished side together so that it's out of the way, and then I repeat the same steps on my other 2 pieces of fabric. Zipper right side facing the right side of the fabric, and sandwich the right side of the lining together. Sew the second side together, open it up, and top stitch across. Gather both sides of your main fabric and clip them together on each end. Repeat this process with the lining. Sew a straight line across each end. After your ends are sewn together, be sure that your zipper pull is in the middle and out of dodge. Then you're going to fold down each end in a triangular shape and pin the main fabric and the lining together. Sew a straight line across each end. Trim the excess zipper and seam allowance. Flip up the lining so it's around the main fabric. Place your recessed zipper inside of the lining. Make sure your lining is wrong side out, and you want to match it up from seam to seam and then pin or clip the rest of it in place. Sew all along the top with a seam allowance that's about half of what you've been using. Fully open your zipper and grab your exterior piece. We're going to be placing the exterior inside of the lining. I want both my exterior and interior slip pockets to be in the front of the purse. So when I place my exterior inside of the lining, I'm going to be putting both slip pockets together on the same side. Again, you want to match up each piece by the seams and then pin all the way around. Sew all around the top with your regular seam allowance. Use the opening that you left in your lining to turn the bag right side out. Depending on how much space you left yourself, it may be a little finagling, but have some care with it so that you don't rip all the stitches you just put in. Tuck in the seams of your opening in the lining and pin it closed, and then you'll do a straight stitch as close to the edge as possible. Once your lining is closed, tuck it all the way in the bag. Then you're going to fold over the recessed zipper and top stitch all the way around to hold it in place. The base of our crossbody purse is now complete, and the finishing touch will be adding the strap. Here I have 2 long strips of the black canvas fabric and 2 long strips of my main exterior fabric. I also have 2 swivel hooks and a slide adjuster. The width of the main exterior fabric is 1 3/4 inches. The width of the black canvas fabric is 2 inches. I didn't have enough fabric to do one continuous strip, so I'm going to show you now how to connect your strips if you have to cut it into separate pieces. Match up the ends of each strip in a 90-degree angle. Clip it in place. Then you'll sew a diagonal line across. When you open it up, you'll see the strap continues in length. Depending on what you're doing, you can top stitch it. For these purposes, I'm just going to cut off the excess. Repeat this same process for the strips of main exterior fabric. For an easier visual, I'm going to show you on a smaller scale how I plan to assemble this strap. The black canvas strip is wider and is going to be my base. I fold it in half and finger press to get that center crease. Then I'm going to apply a piece of double-sided tape to that crease and fold each edge into the middle, sticking it to the double-sided tape. I'm going to repeat that same process for the main exterior fabric. Match up both strips with crease side facing and pin them together. Sew a straight line on each edge of the top exterior fabric. This is what I'll be doing on a larger scale with my main strap, and then once I finish attaching it, I'm going to cut it to 60 inches. All right, this is how it turned out. Ain't it cute? Now let's make this strap adjustable. Grab your slide adjuster and make sure that you're holding it with the middle bar face up. Feed your strap through the adjuster on the underside so that it goes over the middle bar. Fold over the end of your strap twice. This is to tuck the ends and also prevent the slide from falling off. Take it to your sewing machine and sew a line across to hold it in place. It's going to be thick, so be careful. Take the other end of your strap and feed it through one of the swivel hooks. You're also going to take that end and put it through the slide adjuster as well in the same fashion from the underside and then over. Pull the strap all the way through the adjuster till you get a relatively small loop on the other side. You want to make sure that your strap is facing the right direction. Now you can feed the open end through the second swivel hook. And again, you're going to fold it over 2 times to tuck the ends and secure the swivel hook in place. Sew a straight line across. Our strap is complete and ready to attach to the purse. That concludes this crossbody purse tutorial. I hope you're able to use it to make your own version. Please give the video a like and share it, and also subscribe if you want more creative DIY content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.